Welcome to another episode of Respections, and I'm your host, Patrick Tomlinson. And today we have a very, very interesting guest in the person of the Reverend Father Michael Brown. Father Brown is an educator and a priest who serves in the Diocese of Jamaica and the Grand Cayman. He is currently the head of the physics department and doubles and does duties also as the chaplain of the famous Kingston College school, which you'll hear a little bit more about. Father Brown studied pure and applied physics with mathematics at the University of the West Indies and attained his Bachelor of Science degree. He also obtained a Bachelor's of Arts degree in theology from the University of the West Indies at the Mona campus. And he also trained for the sacred ministry at the United Theological College of the West Indies, where he obtained his diploma in ministerial studies. He also did postgraduate work and obtained his diploma in education at the famous Church Teachers College. He is influenced in his life by many priests, he tells us, who have also been educators, and he has sought to follow in their footsteps. And he was inspired to enter these two noble professions. Father Brown, welcome, and thank you for coming and
My
being
pleasure
with us.
being here.
Finally. So I wanted to start, Father Brown, by asking you, where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you grew up.
Well, I grew up in Kingston, and we have a term in Jamaica, you're born under the clock.
Okay.
I was born under the clock.
Okay.
Grew up in the parish of Kingston, and inner city, Kingston. I was always involved in church. School, my mother, if you miss church or school, then you're sure you'd be on your way to the doctor because you had to be very sick.
Right.
So that's part of my growing up.
Okay.
As a youngster, I was always involved in church, Sunday school, youth group, etc. I had 4 siblings, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. My 2 sisters were close in age. My 2 brothers were close in age. And I was a little distance behind.
Okay.
And so they'd always go off and I'd be left alone with my grandfather, my grandmother, and my mother. My grandfather was deeply involved in church, and so we were always talking about church and the things of God. And I remember one day we were talking about the priesthood, and he said, you need to read about Samuel. And he sent me to the Bible to read about Samuel. And from then I felt this deep calling to become a priest.
Okay. Okay. So where did you go to primary school, or what?
Central Branch, it was
Okay.
all age at the time. It's an Anglican school.
It was it? Or is
Yeah,
it?
Still is.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I didn't know that.
I went there from the infant department right up to what was the common entrance, then the
Right.
entrance exam into high school.
Okay.
From there, I went to Kingston College.
Okay. So what influenced you to go to Kingston College? And who were some of the early teachers that you remembered at Central Branch, if you want to mention?
Central Branch, Miss Gordon.
Okay.
I was Miss Gordon's pet. I joke, I said the only thing left for Miss Gordon to do was to put me in a cage.
Okay.
I was so much a pet. I hadn't seen her for years. And after I was a priest, some years later, I was talking to this young man and mentioned that his name was Gordon. And I said, your mother wouldn't have had taught at Kingston College? He said, yes. And so we linked again years later. Miss Campbell was another one. I remembered her class just before common entrance. Then we had 2 Miss Browns at the infant department when I was teaching well, training to be a priest. In the Papine area once, I was walking and I saw Miss Brown had left primary school years. And she saw me. She always spoke in a sort of a hoarse voice. And when I told her I was training to be a priest, she wasn't surprised because she knew I grew up in the church. And she said, in her hoarse voice, "Michael Brown, I am going to embarrass you because I'm going to kiss you." And there in Papine, she hugged me and kissed me.
Wow.
It was a good reunion. Those are some of the teachers I remember.
That influenced you.
There was also Mrs. Blake.
Okay.
I remember those teachers well.
Okay. And what influenced you to go to Kingston College? Was it by accident or by
no.
choice?
I'm not so sure it is choice. At one point, the only high school I knew was Kingston College.
Okay.
I had two brothers who were ahead of me, and once I remember my older brother taking me to a sports day at Kingston College.
Okay,
And
so he attended Kingston College.
he
so-
attended Kingston. My two brothers attended Kingston College, and the legendary Trevor Campbell was running.
Okay.
And I remember the crowd cheering TC, TC. And I looked at that and I said, I have to come to this school.
Okay.
And yes, I passed common entrance and I entered Kingston College.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the significance of this Kingston College, because many people hear about it, and those of us who haven't heard about it, what is it that you'd like us to know about Kingston College?
Kingston College is the finest high school, I'd like to say, in the world. But then I am biased.
That's a stretch. But anyway.
You have to understand it from its history.
Right.
There was a time in Jamaica where higher education, secondary education, was not easily attained by the masses.
Okay.
And I think Bishop Gibson saw this.
Tell us who was Bishop Gibson before.
Bishop Gibson, well, at the time he wasn't bishop, he was a priest ordained, and he was given a choice. Do you go into parish, be in charge of a church, or do you want to start a school? And he started a school, 49 boys. And I'm not so sure, I've found no record about the amount of teachers, but somebody in the 50th anniversary wrote, with a handful of boys and very few teachers.
Wow.
That's as close I have to the numbers. And he started a school. Today, Kingston College is around 2,000 boys in number.
Only boys?
Only boys, all boys. And
all boys.
Over 100 teachers.
Okay, wow, that's a massive.
It provides education for a number of persons who would not have had the opportunity. Persons from very humble background. We like to say we take very raw young men and turn them into gentlemen, leaders, persons who make their mark in this world. Not just Jamaica, but the world. There's hardly a place you will go in this world that somebody from KC has not been.
Okay, very good. So tell us about your growing up in high school and some of the things you did and some of the teachers, some of the classmates that you had that you remember, some of the fun times.
It was good. In that time, the summer prior to entering Kingston College, some old boys had swimming lessons. That's where I learned to swim.
Okay.
And so you met a number of who would be your classmates and your year group persons there. Then, in a very random manner, we were selected in class. The first 40 boys went to A, the second 40 to B. It was just random like that. And I was in a class with fellows who are my friends to this day. As a matter of fact, last Wednesday, I think it was. No, last Monday. We met, four of us, in Queens just to get together. We've been friends for over 50 years.
Wow, amazing.
And that friendship
Still lasted.
still lies alive and well.
Okay.
Teachers, because I had two brothers ahead of me and they were good behaving boy, I was forced to behave myself at school. Teachers knew me.
Right.
My grandmother was a member of the ancillary staff.
Okay, at KC.
So everybody knew me. So I had to behave myself.
Okay.
I had a very good form teacher. He was from Trinidad. I had him first, second, and third form. I had very good mathematics teachers right throughout my days at Kingston College. I still remember them.
You want to name some of the teachers that influenced you at KC?
Yes, the legendary Q.C. Edwards,
Yeah, I know
Mr.
him.
Bramwell, Joyce Baxter. Sorry, not Joyce. Joyce is the sister. Mrs. Baxter, I can't remember her first name. Those are very good teachers as well. I was pretty decent in the mathematics, having those teachers. And I went on to sixth form later on, doing maths, physics, and chemistry. There was a time I wanted to become a chemical engineer. There was a time I wanted to become a nuclear engineer. But in all of this, I still wanted to be a priest.
Okay. So your yearnings to be a priest was from the very early.
From very early.
Okay. Okay. Did you participate in any sports or any? Were you athletically
I
inclined?
represented in terms of athletics, not representing the school. I did speech, and I sang in the choir.
Okay.
I was also in the camera club.
Okay.
Those I represented the school. And the choir had a football team. I played with them and my youth group outside of KC. Outside of that, I didn't represent KC in anything.
Okay. Okay.
But at KC, you dabble in all the sports,
Okay.
football, cricket, table tennis, you name it, you dabble into it.
Were there any particular incidences, positive, that you remember that you wanted to share? Anything funny or humorous?
While as a student or as a teacher?
No, as a student, coming up.
As a student, I remember as a student, the legendary Michael Holden. His mother taught. She didn't teach me, but she taught at the school, and we were having PE, and we were trying to bowl. In walks Mrs. Holden onto the field, and she said, "That's not how you do it." And Mrs. Holden showed us how to bowl the ball. And that was one of the pleasant memories
Yes,
that I
that's
had.
quite unusual, amazing.
Yes.
And you said you participated in debating. Any friends that you
No,
remember?
not debating. Speech.
Speech, which is different a little bit, yeah.
Different. Entered festival and all of that. Friends to this day, Colin Daly comes to mind. We call him Smiley. To this day, he's not just a friend, he's a brother.
Okay.
We did speech, we were in the choir together. He's an Anglican, but he went to one Anglican church, I went to another. We were rival in sports with our youth group, but we remain the closest of friends to this day.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good, very good. So, after leaving KC, what did you do?
At that time, I wasn't sure, coming from humble background, that I could afford the university. So I worked for a year. Mines and Geology, Geological Survey Division. That was a good year for me. Again, my supervisor was also Trinidadian, like my form teacher. And he had great influence on me. We spoke. He helped me to develop confidence. Then I had two friends of mine who sat me down one day and said, "This is how you can go through the university and afford it." And then I had applied and, well,
You applied to the University of the West Indies at Mona.
Yes.
Mona, okay.
Mona campus, yes.
Okay. And you specialized in physics. So it
Yes,
seems as if you always liked physics.
I
Or
liked
you had an
physics,
inclination to it.
maths and physics, and the mathematics was always a good avenue towards the physics. So it helped. And yes, I love physics. I wasn't always the best at it. My physics teacher, when I was at the university, saw me and one of my former classmates, and he said to him, "You're doing physics, right?" And my former classmate said, "Yes." And then he looked at me and he said, "And what are you doing?" And I laughed. He said, "Don't tell me you're doing physics." So yes. So I did physics as well.
So upon graduation, what did you moved on to KC?
No, I was already at KC. In those days, it wasn't a semester system. It was a year-long program, and I was about to do my final set of exams when one of my friends said to me, "They need a physics teacher at KC."
So you're full-time at the university?
I was full-time at the university. And I said, "But I'm about to do exams. I can't come." He said, "Listen, there are some boys who are about to do exams, and they have no teacher.
Well,
You need to come and help." He said, "I can't." He said, "All right." We had a vice principal who was also a priest, one of those who had influence on my life. Canon J.A.H. Ramsey, and of course we called him Ja Ramsey. And I went to see him, and we spoke, and I started teaching. You cannot tell Ja Ramsey no. And I started teaching and finished up the university. And I taught for about 3 years, and then I moved on to UTCWI for training to be. Interestingly, Canon Ramsey was one of those who gave me a recommendation to become a priest.
Okay.
Yes.
And in those times, and still do, you need recommendations, right?
Yes, you have to have recommendation from possibly a priest, someone who knew you growing up, and from your church.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I do remember, Father, that some time ago you were telling me that your home parish was Kingston Parish Church.
Yes.
Which has a lot of history to it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, you want to share a little bit with us?
Kingston Parish Church is in the heart of Kingston, and it boasts some of the greatest architecture you can believe. Stained glass windows. The great Edna Manley has a number of sculptures that are in the church. It is Anglo-Catholic, meaning that the tradition is high Anglican.
And what does that mean for those
who are not familiar with it?
Yeah, the term.
High Anglican, for want of a better phrase, would be closer to practices of the Roman Catholic in terms of rituals and theology in some way. There are parts where we differ. But that was, in my mind, the bastion of Anglo-Catholicism in Jamaica.
Okay.
That's where I grew up.
Okay. And that's what you think, that's what shaped you?
Yes. And here it is, interestingly enough, a former principal of Kingston College. You would probably know him from here. Don Taylor, right, Reverend Don
Bishop,
Taylor. That's right. He became headmaster of Kingston College, and he was rector of St. Mary the Virgin at the time, but he had to resign that, and he was assigned to Kingston Parish Church. So I came under his influence as well. And he left for this diocese in the United States just when I was about to enter Kingston College.
Okay.
Yes.
As a student or?
As a student.
Okay. So you were, that was your home parish, Kingston Parish Church. And
incidentally, Central Branch is linked to Kingston Parish Church.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
The chairman of the board is usually the rector of Kingston Parish Church, or his nominee.
Okay. So but it has a lot of history too, in terms of the history of Jamaica and the history of the English settlement in Jamaica, right?
Yes, it would, because the plantocracy, the those who wielded the influence would have been members of the church. A number of persons who migrated to Jamaica and later on became the large entrepreneurs, the Amars and the Azars, Azans. They were members of Kingston Parish Church. And at this time, I think it's one of the only churches I know in Jamaica that owns commercial property.
Oh, it still does?
It still does.
Okay.
70B King Street. All of 70B King Street is owned by them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess the influence would have come from all those entrepreneurs who would have been there. There was a time the downtown area, the Chinese lived in the downtown area, and so they were also members of the Kingston Parish Church.
Okay.
Incidentally, the church land, it was a graveyard. And so when they were going to build the church, a lot of the tombstones were used as the floor.
Foundation, right.
Right.
Yes.
For the church.
Yeah, and it still exists today, right?
It still exists today.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you then moved to KC as a teacher in the physics department.
In the physics department.
Because based on your resume here, I see where you have ended up as now the current chairman of the Department of Physics, right? Or head of department,
yes.
of Physics, right. What's that like, and how many teachers you have, and some of the major influences? Because I saw also that you're doing robotics, and you have like a robotics team. So in the second half, I would like to kind of explore that a little bit more. But I just wanted to find out just what the department is like, how many boys you cater to, and some of the emphasis and concentrations that you have.
Okay, presently we have grades 9, 10, 11, 12 do physics. Grade 9, it's compulsory. That's a little over 300 boys. At 10 and 11, they do it by choice and qualification. So there's roughly about 140 at each level. And then the 12 and 13, or sixth form, we have around 70 boys
doing physics
at 2 different levels.
Okay.
The physics department, well, we prepare guys who are interested in medicine, especially engineering, anything to do with that. And so a few years back, a student and I, well, a former student actually, now manager at the power station, JPS, we spoke about starting an engineering club at Kingston College. And I had a student who, when I mentioned it, he said, I would love to be a part of that. And he became the first president of it. And he's now an engineer, by the way. He came back to see me a few months ago. And we started an engineering club, which caters for all boys who have interest in that area. A robotics club, well, robotics is where things are going, and so a robotics club was started, and it presently operates out of the physics department. The staff advisor is a physics teacher. We work along, all the physics teachers work with the science club, the engineering club, and the robotics club.
And how many teachers do you have?
No, that's what I'm coming to. There are 4 physics teachers and a lab tech. And that's the physics department. There was a time in the history of the physics department where the entire physics department were all old boys of the school.
Wow.
That's not the case now. Now we'll have 3 of the 5 who should be old boys, who are old boys actually, and 2 females. Okay. Definitely not Casey old boys.
Right.
Yeah. The we seek to work hard with them. Physics is not always the easiest subject to understand, so we have to exercise some amount of patience. We have to be at them. Boys have a way of not really working as hard as they should, and so we have to be pushing them to get where they want to, but we tend to do pretty decently. I was trying to get what the percentage pass was this year, but it's not out yet. Our data managers are working on the numbers, etc., because I thought it would be nice to explain that. But we usually get fairly decent passes. We are always above the country's average.
Okay, that's very good.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Very good. And most, like you say, you prepare boys for medicine, engineering, the sciences.
Right. That's right.
Okay, very good. So, I understand you also have a very famous old boy athlete in your department.
Had.
Oh, it's Had.
Yes, he's no longer there. He has retired.
Okay.
Balfour Reed, you're talking. Bally Reed. Yes, Bally Reed was there. Bally Reed was one of those who, may I say, influenced me when I was in first form. You watch these guys working hard, and Bally in particular, he played football. And he was on a triple champion team, and he did track and field. He had the 100 and 200 meter record, and you're looking at things like that, and you're saying, yes, I have to do well. I wasn't going to try for the 100 meter record, and I definitely wouldn't make the Manning Cup side. But there are other areas that I could work hard at, and this person influenced us. When he came back, he was a great help in the department. He worked hard with the boys, was very caring, and he played his part well.
Well, we want to pay a tribute to him and to Kingston College. We have about 30 seconds left. So, Father, I just wanted to ask you in this first segment if there are any words that you wanted to leave with the audience as to any little snippets of advice or guidance to them very quickly in closing.
In closing, Kingston College has a motto: Fortis cadere cedere non potest. The brave may fall but never yield. Tells us in life you'll sometimes get knocked down. Never stay down.
Well, Father, time is against us. I want to thank you most graciously for coming and sharing with us. And we look forward to the second segment when we'll explore more of this. Thank you very much on behalf of Respections and our viewers.
Thank you for having me.